I mean, on the very top, it should be the main information. So in this case, budget, preferred area, maybe like like language, I would say. I don't know if that's matter, but something like that.
Yeah, it could be important according to our research results.
Awesome. Yeah, so that is gonna be like that.
Cool, cool, awesome. And also, could you spend maybe just like 2 minutes to 3 minutes to do a quick summary of what we have covered so far?
Sure thing. Yeah. So our main user is one who has a room already, and the other is who doesn't have a room. In this case, James and Eric, right? And this is our main wireframe here, which is for James. I don't know, for Eric. So Eric wants to find a room. So this is first tab called rooms, and then Eric can just go through all the available room, and they can see the budget, I mean, the price and how many room best and which area, and then pictures. And if they like it, they can just go to the detail page. They can see more pictures and then more detailed information, which is customized bio, amenities, and house rules and whatnot. If Eric likes this listing, he can click the message button and then can have a conversation with whoever the roommate here. For James' case, he is looking for a roommate. So he just like go through the roommate profile listing, which is second tab here. And then first page is just pictures and then names, budget, and bio. If he like it, I'll call it Tinder method. So if you like it, he swipe right, and then it'll bring James to a detailed page of this person, and he can see more pictures and he can see more, detail, information about this person. And then if he likes it, he can just start conversation by clicking message button.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Yeah. Thanks so much for doing this exercise. I would say you did a really good job of nailing this round. So let me quickly share something that I have observed that you did really well in this exercise. For example, in terms of timing, I think you had a perfect timing. I think in the beginning, you spent like around 5 minutes asking questions to really understand the problem space, asking clarifying questions. So that's really important. And then you spend around another 15 minutes-ish to define the audiences as well as the persona, the user flow. That's also super important. So overall, I think, first of all, you did a pretty good job in terms of timing. And also in the beginning, I think when you were going through the context as well as asking questions around, for example, what exactly are some user pain points, that is a part that you did pretty well as well. And so I think you talked about the key features that could solve for the user problems. When you brainstorm on the key features, you did a pretty good job of really resonating the user's pain point. So when you are thinking about key features, you are not just coming from nowhere, but you like clearly listed out what exactly are the user pain points you are going to solve for, and then what exactly are the key features that's mapping to the user problems that we previously mentioned. So this is pretty awesome. I would like to share a few like quick feedback that I have documented while we were going through this exercise. So yeah, so the first piece of advice I have for you is that I think you could maybe talk a little bit more about your design rationale while you're creating the wireframes. So for example, when you create a room listing view, first of all, you put a card there and there's another card sit below it. So maybe like in other whiteboard exercise, you could briefly talk about why you think a listing view would make the most sense from a user's perspective. Is it because like after the team do, for example, competitor analysis, you guys realize that listing view is the most efficient way for a person who is looking for roommate to quickly identify information they need. Because currently there are a lot of different ways to do interaction design. There's like listing view, there's like card view, there's like a lot of other different alternative solutions. So why like putting everything in a listing view is the most effective way to solve the problem. That could be something that needs more rationale. And also, I think you could maybe explain a little bit about why you have this like room listing view versus the other roommate listing view. So like, because I have a lot of context about why you are creating these two separate views. In my understanding, I think you created these two separate views because in your persona, you have two very different types of users. So that's why these two types of listing views would address the problems of those two types of users. But I think in your design exercise, you can maybe like elaborate really clearly about which listing is going to solve whose problem. So like really helping me to understand where you come from when brainstorming on these two separate listing ideas is going to help you present your ideas better. That's my first piece of feedback. Like whenever you make any design decisions, always talks about where you come from, like where does that idea come from and what's your design rationale behind it. It's very important. And I know that when we are drawing, for example, the tabs at the bottom, as well as like using a carousel styles for the cards might sound very intuitive to us as designers, but still we might want to just like quickly explain why a carousel might be the best design option here. The reason can be that because like a lot of users, they are visual learners. They really want to be able to like check out the pictures of the room as soon as possible. So that's why a carousel is going to efficiently just like include all the information out there for people to freely browse through. So whenever you like design whatever like interaction or create whatever layout, just quickly mention your design reasons behind it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks so much. So yeah, no problem. So that's the first piece of feedback. The second piece of feedback I have is I know that this is just like a very quick exercise, but still in a lot of whiteboard sessions, the interviewers would expect you to see how you would collaborate with different stakeholders in your process. So for example, in presentation, like a portfolio presentation, we might talk about in user research, we would work with UX researcher to do in-person interviews. And also when we are doing like a brainstorming session, we would involve all the stakeholders on the team to brainstorm on ideas together. So when you're talking about the context as well as problem statement, that's actually the perfect opportunity for you to just quickly talk about when you're identifying the demographic information of user, who would be the stakeholders that you would like to involve. So for example, like after doing the like user surveys or doing whatever quantitative analysis with a data analysis, we learned that the demographic age range would be 18 to 25. Maybe quickly using like one sentence to describe your process of gathering those information and who you would be collaborating with would really help the interviewer to understand your real design process. Yeah, so that is my second piece of feedback. Yeah, my third piece of feedback is that I think when we were brainstorming on the user pain point, we could actually spend a little bit more time on this part. The reason is because essentially, when we're coming up with solutions, the goal is to come up with solutions to solve for the user pain points you have identified. So for example, if here we have a few really important user pain points, then when we were brainstorming on the solutions, we would have like more ideas to generate. I think in the beginning, we have like credibility and familiarity. But if when we were thinking about user pain point, we could also think about, for example, the budget concern, as well as location concerns, lifestyle concerns, then it's going to help you rationalize your design later on when you were creating the wireframes. So I remember I asked a question, which was when you were designing the listing view, is it like location based? Is it like budget based? like how did you decide on what is the best way to create a list view? So if say in the user pain point section, we have discussed that based on user research, we learned that budgeting is like a big concern from people who are looking for roommate. Also, location might be another big concern from people who are looking for roommate. Then we were justifying the reasons behind the design decisions is going to make it easier. So this feedback is like maybe when we were thinking about user pain point, really try to think out of the box and generate as many pain points you could think about as possible, so that when we were actually creating the mockups, we would be able to better just leverage whatever user pain points we have previously covered to talk about why we designed the wireframe in that way. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Cool. I also have the number 4th piece of feedback. So this feedback is more related to the metrics for the design. As UX designers / product designers, I know that a lot of times we focus a lot on the users, but actually we would also need to care about the business and the product as well. So in order to showcase that thinking, maybe in your design exercise, when you are going through the context part, as well as the problem statement parts, you could ask the interviewer, what are some like business metrics or product metrics that we want to keep in mind? Because that's going to showcase your business thinking. And also it's going to showcase that you're a very well-rounded designer who is not just thinking about the users, but also you cares a lot about meeting the business goals as well. So maybe just quickly spend 2 to 3 minutes to discuss about what are some key business metrics that you want to define for this project and what's the reason behind it. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, so, and also my last piece of feedback is that you're in a real, for example, 45 to 1 hour whiteboard exercise. If you have maybe 2 to 5 minutes left, definitely do a quick summary, like how you did it in the exercise just now, because the summary is going to help you quickly just like go over whatever key points that we have discussed previously. And most importantly, when doing this summary, I would recommend you to focus on what is the user problems that you are trying to solve for. I think when you're doing the summary, you did a very good job of going over the final solutions. I think what can be very helpful is that in your summary, really highlight what exactly are some key user pain points you're trying to solve and what is the corresponding solutions to those user pain points you have identified. So in that way, you could showcase your user-centric approach to any types of problems. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, so these are my main feedback for your whiteboard exercise. I think overall you did a really good job and you really nailed it. Yeah, let me know if you have other questions for the feedback I have shared just now.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't have any questions. You really gave me like all the good feedback, and it's my second whiteboard challenge that I ever done. So,
wow, that's so impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm still like practicing, but your feedback today will be really helpful for my next interview.
Yeah.
Thanks again for your time. I really appreciate that.
No problem at all. Yeah, I mean, you did a really good job, and especially if this is just your second whiteboard exercise, this is super impressive. Yeah, you definitely nailed it. Yeah.
Perfect. Wow. Thank you so much.